So this is the third JellyCast. Welcome. This is Sebastien. I'm the artist, and with me is Tom.
Hello.
And you are what, Tom?
Oh yeah, I'm the programmer.
It's been a while since the last one we did, which was, of course, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Good news is now, between then and now, we've got a publisher with Circle. We've been very good so far, and so the game's actually going to come out for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that we got the publisher, and now it's also going to come to consoles. So yeah, I my friends are like, oh, you must be so happy now, and I was just like, I'm actually more relieved than anything. That after all this work that we've done, that it'll actually get to completion and come out. So
Hopefully in a good state.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I guess, there really isn't too much more to add on that as far as publishing and how that worked out.
Yeah.
But anyways, did you want to add anything?
Well, I was just going to say, we first met Chris, the CEO at Gamescom. You actually missed him because you were delayed with your flights. But yeah, he came to the booth and was super excited about the game, and he actually even came back later on the day again, a second time, just to say, hey, don't forget to email us. And I was like, oh, okay, and so yeah, and then we had a few weeks of discussion, and it was kind of maybe a bit delayed because we were both doing, we were doing EGX and they were doing Tokyo Game Show, and so I guess but anyway, it finally, everything got sorted out in the end, and yeah, so yeah, it's good news.
Yeah. But anyways, in the meantime, we've been working on the alpha, and we've done a lot of updates to the game, mostly in the UI and usability stuff. There's a lot of that. We did some balancing, but let's just go down the list. Mm-hmm. First thing is we updated the HUD. The layout's slightly different. Not too much of a big difference, but we modified the bags a lot, so it's a lot nicer to look at, a lot easier to use. Anything else you want to add on the HUD?
Yeah, we also added the notifications to the HUD.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So as you meet characters or discover items or get quests, you'll get little notifications in the HUD to show that there's information available in your notebook. I guess that leads into the notebook because we've added the player notebook now.
Yeah. So the notebook is much better implemented now. It's a lot nicer, a lot more clean, and everything's a lot easier to read. All the critical information's there, just in a better setup.
Yeah, we've also added more tabs as well.
Yeah, so first we updated the Jelly notebook pages. I think that was mostly just layout stuff because we had most of that information there anyways.
Yeah.
We did some revisions so that would match the new quick info pop-up that we use for jellies, which is 50 times better than the old one. It's a lot easier to tell how you're feeding jellies and what you're feeding them and stuff. Then we also have the jelly list, which lets you see all the jellies that you've captured in a list with the basic info readout next to them, so you can navigate them pretty quickly that way.
Yeah, a lot of people were asking for that, so...
Yeah. We also added the character notebook section with the list as well. And you can see the character, brief descriptions, and you can see all the quests related to them on the same entry, which is it's like a stamp book, basically.
Yeah, so as you meet characters and they give you quests, they have a grid with for all their quests, and they add stamps to the grid to indicate when the quests are available. And we also add little question marks when there's hints that a quest might be somewhere.
Yeah, it functions similarly to Kirby's Air Ride and the other games from HAL Laboratory, where you can reveal things. And then we also did the codex. We added that into the notebook. which is a list of all the resource nodes and items that you'll find. And you'll unlock those entries as you come into possession of those items or interact with the resources in the wild.
Yeah. And what's useful as well is that, like, it shows you what items you get from what plants, and it also shows you what time of day you can pick them at and what time of year they grow.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Well, which season?
Well, which season, yeah.
Yeah, but it'll show that once you actually do it. So you don't have just like a big dictionary to look at. You could actually have to
discover,
experiment, and find out that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What else? We did some updates with the items as well, which isn't as much in the UI stuff. We simplified a lot of the items and the transmutation stuff because it was a bit opaque, I guess.
Yeah, we had like 200 and something items in like however many layers of transmutation.
So that's a lot easier to use. And that also comes into revisions with the item effects. We streamline a lot of that stuff because there's a lot of effects that were redundant or unnecessary or just not very useful in terms of the actual gameplay.
Yeah, we also had some that were like too difficult to explain via like you'd have to write like a paragraph to explain how it works, you know?
Yeah, there's some unnecessary granularity in how some of those effects worked. Yeah, I mean, we basically took the approach, if you can't describe what the item effect is with the item effects icon, then, you probably shouldn't have that as an item effect.
Yeah.
So that's a big update.
We also added, don't forget, we also did the dialogue revisions as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. We updated all those dialogue windows and stuff. You added some functionality for skipping through in a certain way, for reviewing what the characters previously said. Did a lot of updating to the scripting and stuff like that.
Yeah, the main reason I think initially we had to change it because we wanted to be able to have situations where the player is talking to two different characters. In the old UI, we couldn't really... Well, we probably could have done it, but it would have just looked weird and confusing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's now, instead of like a scrolling like text message layout, it's just the two characters speaking. And we realized eventually that like, if we have all these things on the screen, then you can't really see when characters are moving around during events and quests and stuff. So
yeah,
from a usability standpoint, it just wasn't going to work.
But I also like the idea now that you can like leave in the middle of conversations.
Oh yeah, that's new as well.
I like that because, you can have a character going like, well, that's rude, like.
Yeah.
And then maybe like the character gets annoyed at you for doing that or something.
You did some updates like, you just updated the Jelly Splash, actually.
Yeah, so we added in meters for the energy, and then when you boost you can see like how much that's taking away from your energy, so you can kind of be a little strategic in the middle of the race. Yeah,
well, and the energy is tied to actual jelly's energy.
Yeah, so you have to have like a energetic jelly before you.
Yeah, so if you play it for the first time, you might think like, oh wow, this race is like so easy because like my jelly has so much energy, but it's like, no, you have to give it the energy back.
Yeah.
Kind of updated. You were doing some technology updates as well.
Yeah, that's mainly for preparation for consoles. So, we can't, at the moment, like originally we were storing everything in like XML formats, which are quite bulky. Like I think an average save file was around 6 megabytes or so. Parsing a 6 megabyte XML file can not take a lot of time, but, if you've got that XML file, and then you've got an XML file describing all the path data, then you have an XML file describing all the collisions, then all the maps are XML files, and like, it eventually adds up to a long loading time. So I've been changing a lot of that stuff into binary formats to speed up that process. The other part as well is actually currently the loading time on the PC isn't that great because we're compiling all the Lua scripts at runtime. However, like on a console that isn't really possible because for consoles, you want to avoid dynamic data as much as possible. You want to have as much information predetermined ahead of time, and that especially comes into the code. What we're working on now, and especially for load times, like, you know, having to, like, okay, we're running, I think we've got about 10 scripts or 12 at the moment, and the loading time is pretty bad already. And, you know, so when the game finally comes out, there's going to be God knows how many scripts, like hundreds probably. So we need to pre-compile those so that they're part of the binary code, which means that the loading time is pretty much instant. So that should improve not only just load times for consoles, but also for the PC version.
Okay.
I went off on a bit of a tangent there.
A little bit. I started to tune out after a little. Anyways, so load times are going to be better, and it's been more or less future-proofed for console usage, pending, you know, fixing any bugs and things like that may pop up.
Yeah.
And currently, we're working on updating the breeding mechanics for the jellies, which is going to involve the jellies laying eggs, and then you taking care of those eggs to hatch them more quickly and stuff like that. So you'll be able to carry jellies and carry your eggs around, and the jellies will have basically, like, I guess, abilities.
Yeah.
Like detection, stuff like that. It's like when you carry them around, they can find things for you, things like that.
We still need to come up with a few more of those abilities.
Yeah, we still have to, you know, finalize those things, but currently we're just getting the carrying your jelly / egg functionality in. It involves a lot of updating old animations, putting in new ones for bags and stuff, and for the jellies as well.
Yeah, and also we it solves the issue of, so before you'd have to, like, go to the competition NPC and then select your jelly, and you might not be sure what the stats of that jelly are, or, you know, what state it's in. But now, if you actually have to bring the jelly to the competition, you can at least put the jelly down and, like, okay, I'm going to quickly feed it some items before the competition, you know? And kind of, you know, you can be a bit more strategic in entering the competition, especially later on in the game when they become more difficult and challenging, so...
Yeah, I guess that kind of, I think that covers it. We're going to be still working on the alpha. It's going to be available for some time after this. I don't think we're going to end it in December like we originally planned.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up extending it.
So make sure to sign up for that at the alchemiccutie.com website. Follow at Alchemic Cutie. That's the Twitter handle.
Yep.
Follow that for more updates and stuff about the game.
Yeah, and also add us to your wish list on Steam.
Oh, yeah, we got that. And last thing is you can sign up to the Cutie Club. Yep,
on the website, and also follow at circle_ENT, which is our publisher. They'll also be putting out a lot of content related to the game and little previews, so so keep an eye on both Twitter handles. Yeah, and if you do play the game and end up wanting to share it, feel free. That includes screenshots, video, whatever. Yeah, we've also had a few Twitch streamers playing the alpha as well, which is cool. I kind of feel bad, though, because it's like, oh, you're kind of playing it too early. Well, you know, it's out there. So yeah, we're just going to be finishing out the feature list in the alpha as time goes forward, and look out for updates for that. Yep. Thanks for listening. Thanks. Bye-bye.